Hey, what's up guys? Dylan Johnson from Soccermag here and welcome back to another video. I know I've been missing for a little bit. I had to get my wisdoms removed, so I've been out of action, but I'm back now and we are on match week 25 of the Premier League. Some interesting things have happened over the past 2 weeks or so. I mean, last weekend was a bit crazy. United pulling it back, Chelsea pulling it back. Arsenal blowing Leeds away, City fumbling yet again. But yeah, Liverpool playing well, their best they've played in ages, so there's quite a lot to talk about, so I'll get into it straight away. We have Leeds versus Forest as the first game, and yeah, Leeds, for a second there it was, own goal, corner, you thought Arsenal, they've done it again. But then, just too strong. Gyökeres, open play goals were there, and they just weren't good enough against Arsenal, who hopefully don't keep this run of form, but it is what it is. City aren't doing anything to stop them. And then they're playing Forest. So Leeds at home against Forest, realistically, got to back Leeds at home. I know they got punished by Arsenal last week, but come on, they've been good at home. Maybe a draw, I'll see. It's a difficult one, but I think I'm just going to go towards Leeds at home, maybe a 2-1 or a draw. Then we have one of the big ones, Man United versus Spurs. And this is a seriously interesting one because obviously United have been flying over the past 3 games. Against Fulham, it was a bit more... it kind of felt like, when they let the lead slip. Obviously, Kevin's goal was crazy. But Bruno's playing really well. Casemiro's playing really well. Kobe Mainoo's nice to see him back. And it feels like the shackles have been lifted. There's like a weight off of them. And even though they did let the 2-goal lead slip, they still won the game. So they do look really good. The question now is just how consistent can they be? Obviously, it's easy to get psyched up to play against Arsenal and Man City. Fulham's a bit more difficult, and that showed it was a bit more of a difficult result. They had to come back late. So, yeah, I think that's a difficult one. Spurs as well. So unpredictable. One half they'll be good, one half they'll be terrible. Second half against City, City didn't have a shot on target in the second half. I think I'll talk about that a bit more when we get to them. But yeah, the City offensively in the second half were completely nowhere, and Spurs fought back and showed in the big games. And I feel like against Man City in the past, Spurs do pull something out the bag. This weekend, though, I don't see them doing anything at Old Trafford. United have too much confidence. The way they're playing feels, they're at home. They're going to arrive then. It's like, we are playing at Old Trafford. You're playing Manchester United. Whereas Spurs, maybe for half an hour, they'll be in it. They could score a goal or two. It is really difficult to see how Spurs are going to perform because they could get blown away and lose 5-0. They could win this match, or could be a crazy 3-3. I'm going to give it to United at home. I just think with the form that the players are in, the confidence they have, the lack of confidence Spurs have. I know they fought back against City, but City right now have nothing in the tank. They look finished, physically, mentally. Rodri having a go at the officials after the game. Pep talking crazy stuff about he isn't backed enough financially, which I think we can all think is a pretty crazy, statement considering they spend nearly 100 mil, if not more, or they spent 100 mil this January window. They spent over 200 before the season started, and they spent another 200 in January last year. So definitely, Man City are definitely backed financially. They just are not playing well, and I think that grates his gears a bit. But yeah, so I'm going to give this to United, maybe a 2-1 or a 2-0. I could see it either being absolute domination or a goal fest for both sides, but I'm going to give it to United. Then we have Arsenal versus Sunderland, and I think I'm kind of done praying for Arsenal's downfall. I think I've kind of accepted that it is over. I think maybe it hasn't been officially over for a while, but with how badly City have been playing, with, Arsenal have been dropping points, and the lead is still 7 points. So I don't think the title race is a race anymore. I think it would take... If Arsenal win this game and City lose to Liverpool, it's 10 points with, 12 games to go. I don't see Arsenal, even if Arsenal drop the 12 points, I do not see City building a winning run long enough to make up that gap. I think every time the gap seems to close, City stumble. I mean, this year I think they've won one game in the Premier League, and Arsenal have not been playing well. Sunderland, away from home, haven't been as good, but they have massive mentality. They are probably an annoying team to play against because they have a lot of energy. They'll go to the Emirates and they'll put in a serious effort. I don't think it'll be an easy game for Arsenal, but I don't think that means I don't think Arsenal are going to win. I think Arsenal are the better side. They seem to be, after scoring 4 goals against Leeds, also the different types of goals. If they had won from the own goal in the corner 2-0, then you're like, okay, maybe they're still on edge. Maybe there's still some jitters there. Are they still nervous? They beat Chelsea. Now they're in the final of the EFL Cup. So I think their momentum is trending upwards. They were going through a middling or downtrend when it came to their performances. But I think now it seems like I can just assume that this is like the curve has been, like they've passed the curve. I'm going to go for a 2-0 win at home. I don't think it's going to be comfortable. I think Sunderland are going to be a bit of a menace there. But Arsenal at home against Sunderland, you'd expect them to win that every day of the week. Then we have Bournemouth versus Villa, and Villa also massive stumble last week against 10 men against Brentford. Not good enough. And to be honest though, Villa have been overperforming this season. I think we can all agree that no one has expected them to keep the pace for this long. I think, it's almost expected for them to be in the top 4 or Champions League European places, but to be not comfortably third, but, in the title rate conversation, I don't think we think that Villa is going to win the league. But to be 4 points behind Arsenal for quite a while, to have be within range has been impressive. Their performances have been good. They've gone on good runs. So, yeah, at Bournemouth are a very tricky team. Liverpool felt that the last time I spoke to you guys. I would like to say Villa, but I'm not 100% sure. I think I'm going to go for a draw at Bournemouth. These are the kind of games that I think, if Villa are struggling at home against Brentford, who are down to 10 men, maybe they're going through a bit of a slump. Will they get through it? I'm not 100% sure this week just yet. It is a really tough game to do that, but you never know. I'm going to go for a draw. Then we have Burnley versus West Ham, and West Ham blundered a 2-0 lead. You can say they blundered it. I mean, they got a red card. And Chelsea have just been very good since Liam Rosenior has come through, has joined. They seem to have a bit more of a fighting mentality. Their consistency seems better. So no one expected West Ham to win that game. I think from their point of view, it's just disappointing to go 2-0 up and let it slip like that. Burnley at home, I think we've spoken about a lot. Not easy, but both teams stink, to be honest. So this is a relegation clash. If I look at the table, 5 points separate Burnley and West Ham. So, and if West Ham win this game, they go 3 points from safety. So it's a massive game for West Ham to win. Burnley as well to try and get within 8 points of Forest. But I don't know. This is a difficult one. I'm going to go for a draw just to play it safe because I'm a coward. But I wouldn't be surprised if West Ham edged this one. Then we have Fulham versus Everton, and Fulham kind of falling into that same thing we've seen over the past couple of seasons where their results don't necessarily, add up to the performances that they put out. I mean, they played well against United. They came back from 2 goals down. They lost. They've climbed up the table. They are in 9th. I mean, I say climbed up, I mean like they're in the mid-table conversation. But they play well most of the time. And against, at home, away, they are a very difficult team to beat. So, Everton, I know they drew against Brighton. I don't know, Everton are also a tricky one. They're not a bad team either. But, yeah, I'm going to give it to Fulham at home, 2-1. But, yeah, it's also another tricky one. Everton have pulled off strange results like this season. Whereas Fulham could play really well, get a goal or two, but still not get the result, maybe have a draw. But I'm going to back Fulham at home 2-1. Then we have bottom of the table, Wolves versus Chelsea. And Chelsea, obviously, I mentioned earlier, they lost. They got knocked out of the EFL Cup by Arsenal. Wolves, I think I've mentioned this consistently. Their performances are trending upwards, but they still don't have any points. They are still bottom of the table. Let's be real. They are 18 points from safety with 12 games to go. They're done. They're relegated. They lost Strand Larsen to Palace, who hasn't been I don't think he's performed to the level we expected this season. I think, in the off-season when teams are putting in 55, 60 million bids for him, it was a bit crazy, but he's gone to Palace now for a little bit less. But he hasn't hit the heights we expected this season, but to be honest, no one at Wolves has. They've all stunk it up. But since the new year, their performances have definitely improved. It's more just about them getting points. And I would love them to get points against Chelsea. It would be amazing. But with how Chelsea have been playing, if we're honest, I don't see Wolves doing anything there. I'm going to go for a Chelsea win. Maybe it won't be a walk in the park like earlier in the season where it could be like a 3-0 or 4-0. But Chelsea to beat Wolves. I think we can all agree that's a bit of a banker. Newcastle versus Brentford, last game of Saturday, and an interesting one. Newcastle, I thought first half an hour against Liverpool were unbelievable. Liverpool could barely keep the ball, and when they had it, they were under so much pressure. I think Anthony Gordon played really well. I thought the defense played really well in that first half an hour. But then Liverpool just played themselves into the game. They got the goal through Ekitike, the first goal, and then after that, it was they kept pushing on the counter. There were a couple chances, but once Liverpool got settled, there was no chance for them. I think also Newcastle's away form this season is one of the worst ever. I'm not even sure the exact numbers, but their performances away from home have been terrible. So, I think Eddie Howe is probably, I don't know how he fixes that. The whole season it has been really bad. But they are playing at home, and St. James's Park is a fortress. Brentford did get a win at Villa last week, so they'll be confident. But Newcastle get all their points at home, so I'm going to back Newcastle here. Then we have Brighton versus Palace, and another interesting one. Palace's poor run has continued. I think, Mateta now, he was going to go to Milan, but he failed his medical. He has a knee injury. He's basically out for the rest of the season. Dwight McNeil, they were trying to sign him, and that was a bit of a mess as well. It kind of feels like Palace, all of the good will from outsider looking in, that has been built up over the past 12, 18 months since Oliver Glasner has been there, it kind of reminds me now of like Roy Hodgson's era, or the last couple months of Roy Hodgson, last year of Roy Hodgson, where just bleak. Everything just seems like deflated, bleak. Players are leaving, results aren't good. There's a lot of negativity around, like from the manager. I don't know, like it just feels there's a disconnect between the hierarchy and the manager, and performances are really bad. I think if we look at their run, but I mean prior to last week, I don't think they've won in 10 or something games. I think it's been almost 10 games since they've won, or they've won one match in their past 10 or so. So all of the momentum they've built from the end of last season, even the start of the season was really good, is gone. And away at Brighton, who have been also up and down results-wise, draws they shouldn't be drawing, losses they shouldn't really be losing, getting wins when no one really expects them to get wins. They're unpredictable as well. But Brighton at home against this Palace team, no Gehi, no Mateta, I'm backing Brighton there. I'm going to go for maybe a 2-0 or a 2-1. Final game of the weekend, the one we've been waiting for, the big one, Liverpool versus Manchester City. And this is a massive one. Last week, before Karabag, I was dreading this. I was like, we're going to get clapped at Anfield again. But City really are not looking good. I think it's the second or third game in a row now that they haven't had a shot on target in second half. And for a Manchester City team under Pep Guardiola, with Erling Haaland up front, with Foden, with Cherki, that is quite a crazy stat, with Semenyo, with players like Marmoush coming off the bench. It is attacking. It doesn't really make sense. City's problems this season, or its fault over the last year, even have felt that it's their defense, their midfield. Obviously, in the absence of Rodri, they had no defensive stability. They were cut open so easily. But Rodri's back. Their defense is still not as good as it should be. and they are scoring goals, but to go 2-0 up against Spurs and then in the second half to not have a single shot on target, with all those players I mentioned, and Pep has said in the past it's fatigue and all these things, but Manchester City have one of the best and biggest squads in the Premier League. I don't think every team has fatigue right now. Everyone, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, they're all in all competitions. Newcastle, Villa, all the teams that are playing in Europe, they're all in a similar situation. And I don't think fatigue is a problem. I think maybe I'm not going to say there's a problem with the system when it comes to Pep. He knows everything. But you have to be at least getting shots on target. I know Liverpool have also struggled with that this season. But they really do not want to win this title. I've said it before. Their form this year has been atrocious. Their performances this year have been atrocious. Their defense hasn't been good enough. Their goal scoring hasn't been bad. But like I said, when they need the goals, they're not coming. And Rodri just looks like a shell of himself. He looks like he's lost some pace. His challenges he's making, like gets a red card in the Champions League, could have gotten a red card against Spurs with the tackles he was making while on a yellow card. He just looks like he is not fully back to where, Ballon d'Or winning Rodri, where when he played, City did not lose. And when he missed a game, that was only the time City dropped points. So that's also an interesting one, because now what do City do? Rodri is not playing well. He has been key to them for, when they won the treble, basically since he arrived, or maybe that first season he settled in. That is also, I think, a massive problem for them, because his screening, what he does with the ball, what he does off the ball has been so integral to Man City's performances and their results. He is off the pace, and City are really struggling. From a Liverpool point of view, like I said, the first half an hour against Newcastle was rough, but the response after going 1-0 down was probably one of the best hours of football I've seen Liverpool played this season. I thought Wirtz Ekitike played really, really well. I thought Konate, best game of the season from him. Just so dominant, on the ball, really good. Obviously getting his goal was amazing, a beautiful moment. And then just all round, I thought Kirkes was really good. Obviously, Szoboszlai was really good. Gravenberch was great. Salah is a difficult one, because I wouldn't say he played well, but I think positives are that he's getting super involved. He got an assist for Wirtz. Just one thing, it feels like there were a lot of times where he lost the ball, where against Lewis Hall, who is a good one-on-one defender, he kicks it. It feels like he kicks it into the defender a lot, or his pass is underweight, or it's too heavy. His first touch isn't quite... He's most got a great first touch, one of the best in the Premier League, I think. But like against Newcastle, sometimes it feels like when he's dribbling, his first touch is a bit too heavy. When he cuts inside, it can be a bit predictable. I felt like he lost possession a lot. But he made up for it with an assist. He's getting involved. He's touching the ball a lot more. His shooting definitely needs improvement. I'm not sure what's going on there. His shooting this season has been a serious downgrade. But he's getting involved, which I like to see. Hoping that he can do something this weekend. It is... the race for top 4 is incredibly difficult if we look at Liverpool's last fixtures or their last 12 games. So they play City at home, they play Sunderland away, Forest away, West Ham at home, Wolves away, Spurs at home, Brighton away, Fulham at home, Everton away, Palace at home, United away, then Chelsea, Villa and Brentford to end the season. And if we look at all those games, obviously City at home, City clapped Liverpool last time they played, and no one's ever going to play against Man City again, easy win. Sunderland away has probably been one of the most difficult or unpredictable fixtures this season. Even Nottingham Forest away is incredibly difficult. They play really well at home. West Ham is probably the only banker you can think of so far. Wolves away. Their performances have improved, and maybe Liverpool could get something there. It's just not as easy as it was, at the beginning of the season, because Wolves have turned a corner. Then we have Spurs at home, and again, Spurs, you have no idea what they're going to do. They could come to Anfield and take 5, or it could be a serious, a massive game where it's 2-2, 3-3, even Spurs grab a win there. Then Brighton away, again, an incredibly difficult match. Fulham at home, Fulham have been one of the teams that have really caused Liverpool problems over the past few years. Everton away, Merseyside derby at the Hill Dickinson, the new stadium. We don't have to speak anything. We know what a Merseyside derby's like. Palace at home. Palace have been probably the mid-table team that has caused Liverpool the most problems over the past season or two. Then United away. This United, if they keep this form, I don't know if Liverpool can win that game. Chelsea at home, direct top 4 competitor, same as United. Difficult game. Villa away, another one, probably arguably top 2 or 3 most difficult away games in the Premier League. And then Brentford at home, and Brentford absolutely slapped Liverpool in the first game they played against them. So if you look at all those games, Liverpool needed that Newcastle win to show they can score goals and have a good performance. But they need consistency now because all of those games, and yes, it's basically the entire league, but it's the home and the away that also makes it difficult. Because playing Sunderland at home, even though Liverpool drew against them at Anfield, that is very different to playing them at Sunderland. Same with Wolves. Playing them at Anfield, you think that's a banker. Playing them away, different story. Brighton, same. United at Old Trafford, difficult. So Liverpool need to lock in now. They need to go on a good run. They had breathing room and they let it completely slip. So, yeah, Liverpool need to win games now, and that has to start. Their run has to start now against City. Obviously, it's probably one of the worst for it to happen. City need a response. But yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. Realistically, I think it's probably going to be a draw. But I would obviously want Liverpool to win. City, unpredictable. We know they're going to go out there and play the way they play. How can Liverpool hurt them? That's the question. How much possession are Liverpool going to want? Are they going to play how they did against Arsenal? Are they going to play, are they going to want to have more of the ball and force City back? No one can really do that. So are City going to go there and play like how they did against Arsenal? That's the question. Are they going to shut up shop and make Liverpool play? It's a difficult one. We don't know how these teams are going to approach it because it's a must-win for both teams. I'm going to go for a Liverpool win, but a tight scoreline, maybe a 1-goal difference, and probably either Liverpool score early, sit back, hold it, or they score late. I don't see it being a 2-0 up, cruise, dominate the ball. I think City, it's going to be a tough one, but I'm going to go for Liverpool for this one. So guys, that has been Soccermag's predictions for Game Week 25 of the Premier League. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if I'm stupid. What do you think is going to happen this weekend? Are City out of the title race? Can Liverpool make top 4? And are United truly back? Cheers, guys. Thanks.